Okay.
The
And we'll
Bible.
do our greetings. I think that one's okay, so we gotta kind of watch that one. And I didn't invite nobody. You want to invite somebody on your phone?
No, we're not. That's just good to go.
Huge. Okay. All right. Okay, say that. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
All right, Tony and I are going to be here just briefly today. We want to put some food for thought in our sisters and brothers' minds this afternoon as we open back up from this COVID and they're getting ready to allow. What you looking for, baby? Right here. They're getting ready to allow us, okay, to start having church services again.
Repeat, Kim.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes,
And so I just wanted to put some food for thought to our sisters and brothers in Christ. And I hope we could get some people on, but I don't see anybody yet. I didn't announce it. I'm sorry, I'm spontaneous, y'all. So you'll probably catch this in the recording so you can make comments afterwards, okay? After the recorded post uh, is recorded and edited and put on my smorgasbord channel. Okay, so let me put a plug in for my smorgasbord channel. Again, guys, we need you to share, like, and subscribe our videos on our smorgasbord channel. Okay, as we are trying to get 1,000 subscribers on our channel, so that we could play our documentary, get it monetized so it could help our mission over in the Gambia, West Africa. Okay? So not only do we do mission here, like feeding the homeless at the women's shelters, but we also um, do mission work with clothing um, the poor and encouraging the poor and doing outreach there with medicines and things of that nature. Okay? And that's Global Mission Society, guys. All right, so we're going to get on into um, our subject matter. Okay? So here's our subject matter for today. All right. So if marriage is a representation of Christ loving the church, why isn't it not being taught more in the church? Okay, so the scripture says in Ephesians 5
5:25.
25, okay, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. Okay, and I went on, that was 25 to 27. Okay, so guys, my question is to you guys, And I want you all to comment on, because maybe you can help me out. I know for the last couple of years, before the pandemic, of course, I very rarely see or hear sermons talking about family and marriage. Guys, what is that? If marriage is supposed to be an example of how Christ loves the church, then why aren't we talking more as leaders about marriage, teaching about marriage? My thing is, everybody know in our community that our community is in trouble as far as family units are concerned. So to me, you would think that when we go to our houses of worship, our synagogues, or wherever, the mosque, they would be talking seriously about marriage and family life and coming together. Not shacking, not having babies out of wedlock, not overcoming being a deadbeat dad, but marriage and commitment. Okay? Marriage and commitment. Okay? A stable family life. And I guess the reason why it's on Tony and our hearts so much is because we're products of that. Before our parents passed away, our parents were together 50-something years, right?
57, 58.
Yeah. So my concern is, my question is the pastor too young to understand the importance of family and what this represents to our black family unit?
Yeah. Okay. What? And what?
And so this is what we want to talk about today. So, baby,
Okay.
you can.
First,
Go ahead.
finish?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I just say thanks for tuning in to us. This is a subject that we really, both of us, believe in. You know, we are products of two sets of parents that, till death did them apart. They were together for no, and during my years as a child growing up, it was unusual to see family without a mom and dad,
Right.
husband and wife. It was that was very unusual. So we grew up having both parents and as a unit. So as we came together years ago, you know, my question was always to my wife, what happened to that value of marriage and the subject of marriage? When did it start to break down? Because in order for it to be where it is now, it had to break down first. And I always told her, you know, it's the moral value of life. When I see things such as, like I said, the tangible things that come on someone's life overrides the spiritual things, then through time, one is going to diminish. And what I see now is marriage. The value of marriage has diminished so much that it's not even, you know, important. So each generation that uh, raises up and you don't see marriage, after a while you see just what's going on right now. You know, you just see a lot of couples, and really a lot of them want to be married, but society itself played a big role in it. You watch TV, you don't see husband and wife. You watch, you know, you see in public, you don't see husband and wife. You know, you go anywhere, mostly where you go, you see uh, like couples. And nothing wrong with that because you need to be a couple first. But the next step is marriage, and I'm safe to say it took me a little while because in my second one, my marriage was me, myself, and my wife, because I was kind of like, well, from what I saw, I didn't see good examples outside of parents and stuff like that. People our age, that people were just breaking up, and well, I'm not gonna say medium stuff because it may be medium to me, but it might have been important to them. But a lot of my friends, they didn't give that last, I guess that last effort. I felt, because I feel like you should exhaust all your possibilities, before you really divorce. Because I look at divorce. I hate it. I really do. I hate it. I don't use that word a lot, but I hate divorce because the fact of it is, I've seen what breaks down in the person. I see what breaks down in the kids, and it affects the kids a whole lot. And
the extended families.
And they be like this when you get a divorce, but lo and behold, you don't know what's coming after. And really, I didn't know. Like the kids are affected all their life. And I have friends of mine, grown men, that, like I said, I never experienced it. My parents been divorced, but I see like a lot of my friends, some good men, good guys, but they didn't experience marriage. They just had the parents, or their parents were divorced, and it was the same. So the value just started decreasing through time, just like anything else. And just seeing our kids, what they went through, each one individually. How they want the family they want mommy and daddy together. And to me, the job would be a lot easier if there was a marriage, more so than just a couple thing. It makes a difference in the child's life. It really, really does. So the repercussions of say just them not having both of you, because really they want to be a part of who made them. That's what kids really. And it was hard for me to relate to that because I have both my mom and dad till death did them apart. So it was really hard for me to really understand it or elaborate on it, talk about it, because I had both my parents. So when I got divorced, that's when I saw all of this, the negative side of divorce, the downside of divorce, how the child experienced things, out of the ordinary, they wouldn't experience if they had both parents. They go into a relationship, probably not wholeheartedly. What I mean by that, the parents were broken up, divorced or whatever, or they never even got married, and so they don't know how the wholesome part of being married. So therefore, it goes into their relationship, and you see them really don't know how to handle it. As to say, like us, if we go through something, we can draw back on our parents. How do they handle it, or how they react to something? But then the mother may be raising them. In my case, as the father raising them, Tina as the mother. They want to see mommy and daddy. They really want to see their mommy and daddy. Talk about it, and they want to be able to go to mom and daddy to do it. It's a difference. We don't want it to. Like I say, I don't like to use the word her kids, but I'm just gonna say the kids to just I couldn't just step in their life, tell them, dictate to them, and some people do, but that's kind of like could be problems later on. I try to do things in love and in the proper way. Let them grow to love me on their own. Let my sons grow to love Tina on their own. Not forcefully, because that's a lot. It's traumatic. It's a traumatic ordeal for a child to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
And divorce is no joke, and it's a lifelong thing because they never. It's like it's something that's missing. And if I believe if the other parent played a part in their lives more, it would work. But that's not what they want. They want their mom and dad. So therefore, you have to make an extra effort. Like I had to make an extra effort to bring things to light with the kids. You know what I mean? The kids that Tina had prior to our marriage, and she did do the same for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a heck of a job, you know. I mean, I guess I just, the whole time, I was kind of like saddened a lot of times because I know they what they're going through, I don't know if I would have been able to accept it right away. So a lot of times I had to be understanding about it because I might do something and it may be I felt like, you know, should be better appreciated, but then, you know, I feel like they weren't. But it wasn't the way I looked at it or thought. It's just that when you bring someone in your life, people say, this is a package deal. You bring your kids. If you want me, it's a package deal with my kids. But that takes time to build, and you don't have them overnight. You might want it to be a package deal. You want it to be a package deal. That's fine. You say that. But guess what? It takes, like anything, it has to be built upon. You know, you can't walk in a child's life and just expect for them to treat you like a father, treat you like a father or mother. And that should be talked about. That's what my wife talked about earlier. And we always talked about blended families. And then we will be able to cover that subject. Now, I think we would cover it fairly well for what we went through. That would be a whole different subject, a whole different title, a whole different channel if we talked about that. Just from experience that we've gone through all these years.
But shouldn't they also have? But shouldn't it be some type of classes or
right? Seminars,
you know,
conferences
through our temples, through our churches,
yes,
through our temples, through our synagogues.
Yes, it should be.
You know,
to save them, to save the
blended families,
save the kids.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
You know,
because sometimes things like we had a couple of situations where we could have. We had a couple of situations where because of the children, it could have busted us up.
It could have,
right?
A long time ago.
You know,
right?
But you know, because the Christ that was in us, and because of the commitment that we saw, and the example that we seen in our parents, their stick-to-itiveness. Okay, we, you know, we toughed it out. You know, and so that's all I'm saying. Is that I think we of age now because our kids are grown now, and I think we have. To me, I think we have strayed away with not talking and teaching about marriage and family life in our synagogues, in our temples, in our churches. You know, it's just not enough teachings. Okay, so. You know, we're not coming together for the last year and a half, right? Mm. Okay. So why not do a teaching on the internet?
And blend the family or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't bumped across, I've bumped across plenty of sermons and things like that. But I have not bumped across a sermon teaching about family this whole year.
Family values.
You know, the family values, marriage, how important the commitment, mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. How important it is, you know, for if you're dating to marry. And then after you're married, how to keep your marriage fresh, you know, and how to stick together. And when you come upon problems, what to do. Of course, everything is in the scriptures and in the Quran or in the Torah. But we also need to hear, you know, sometimes we don't have time to study, you know, with our live schedules and stuff like that. I would love to be able to hit something and hear somebody teaching on marriage, you know. And, you know, even though Tony and I have been married 25 years successfully, we still need to hear the positive instruction, you know, and encouragement on marriage too. At our level.
From seasoned couples.
From seasoned couples.
Couples that really They know.
From seasoned couples. You know, I mean, things like for us, when is a good time for retirement? Let's look at the finances. Are we really ready to retire? You know, those type of things are things that we are looking for as far as you know, what's going on with what's happening with the marriage. And I wrote a statement down. Okay, strong marriages make strong churches. Strong churches make strong communities. Now, I'm sorry. That's what I grew up with. That's what I grew up seeing, and I feel like that's what's missing in the black community, African American community. We have strayed away. And I feel like we need to get back to those strong marriages, making strong churches making strong communities, guys. Okay, so I think as we go back and as we getting ready to get back into the church, as they open it after they open it up, because they're getting ready to open up the churches
today. Well, the weekend,
yeah. So as the church leaders, I implore you, as we get ready to go back 2021 into these churches, okay? Community leaders, okay? Family leaders, because I'm the oldest child, so that makes me a family leader. And Tony's the oldest child, so we're family leaders. So family leaders, start talking to your nieces, your nephews, your sisters, your brothers, your aunts. Start talking to them about family life and community and sticking together and marriage.
Positive.
Yes.
You know,
positive.
If it's a negative, I don't want to use the word negative because I don't know people, but people that's going to give you positive information.
Right.
You know, because sometimes you can ask them and they give you, not intentionally, they won't give you any, but they'll tell you something negative, inject something negative, and then and it's like poison. You know what I'm saying? So it won't help you. You know, try to talk to someone if it's in your family, friends, or whoever, relatives, that has a marriage that's successful. Because one that's on the brink, it might not be encouraging to you or your spouse. It may not. So try to talk to those that are successful marriages. That means they've been together for a while and they really are. Because you can be together, and that's not. But you can be together for 100 years, but that don't mean you have a marriage either. You know what I'm saying?
that's not the truth.
Deal is, that's why I say successful, because you're married, but you're not. Because marriage is joint, but if you're doing things separate, not together, or you not, you have to use your own judgment on that. You have to use your judgment, and for what it's worth. If you really want to have a successful anything, you get the positive notes from someone. That's what I do. I don't just get it from anybody. I play music. If a guy say, "Man, I'm gonna join your band," and he telling me I'm good. Let's see what you got. If you're auditioning for a band or whatever, you just don't want to let the person in your band. You don't know. Depends on the level you're trying to go. And if you're trying to go to a level of marriage that we want to go, because you never reach that plateau if you really love and care for that person.
Right.
I can't never say it's a certain plateau. Hey, we just gonna stop right here doing this, that. I don't want to do that. That's when you don't want to stop your marriage from growing.
Right.
And with kids, you want your children, you want to be a good example for your kids. They have already been through, like I say, they've been through trauma. Trauma. When the husband and wife break up and divorce, is trauma. I've experienced firsthand. And the ones that really get affected are those kids. And I tell my friends, if they're in the beginning stages, they come to me and tell me about, man, we breaking up. Okay, and the first thing I say, look, man, can we talk? And you came to me. And the first thing I tell them, do you think you give it all you got? all you got. That means you're going to exhaust every possibility, you know, from counseling to whatever that may have started the situation with your marriage as far as you breaking up. Get to the source. Counseling is good, but both parties, and this is one
That's
thing
a
I
good
believe
thing.
in.
Yeah.
Both parties have to want to be together. Both parties want to voluntarily want to go to counseling. You know, really. Because if one deep down inside they don't really want to be in it, it's gonna be really tough. It's really gonna take God. That's why I said, you know, it's honorable by God, but you gotta let God in it. You can't just to say it's honorable and then you don't let God in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if God is in it, believe me, He has a solution to whatever it is. It don't matter if it's the money, if it's this or that. Because it was very hard for us raising 7. Not hard as far as financially, but it was hard mentally, physically. Some days you get bombarded with like 2 of the kids. They may miss their mom, especially in the early stages of our marriage. Miss their mom, one might miss their dad, and then all of them going through stuff and this and that, and it's all related to divorce. You know, it's a pastor man that's always talking about, you know, hey, divorce is the worst thing. It is the worst thing, one of the worst things, and I tell people that. It's how you say that, T. I mean, because the kids suffer, and the trauma that they get on as far as life.
Yeah.
Some kids would be so successful.
Yeah.
If those parents would have just gave it another try.
Yeah.
You see, now if you absolutely can't, sometimes it's that way.
Yeah.
You have to draw your own conclusion on that, because I can't say how. If you tried enough, you have to know within your heart, did I exhaust everything that's possible?
And know your biblical principles for divorce. Because some crazy people, Jesus forgive me, don't say crazy, Lord have mercy. But some people just divorce, say irreconcilable differences. What's irreconcilable differences? You know, I mean, you need to have, I mean, it should be serious. You know, you need to take marriage serious. Not just because, well, they didn't like the type of furniture I wanted, and I wanted to do this, or they spending too much money, so I'm leaving. You know, well, you have to wait until that person learns how to manage their money, or help them manage their money, or seek counseling, and seek godly counseling. You know, not counseling from Joe Blow, but seek godly counseling.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and sometimes you may have to call in, you know, the persons that you have that's standing up to you, your best man and the what is it, the maid of honor, matron of honor, whatever. Those persons are supposed to be in your corner for your marriage. And so, if they're spiritual people, then you should call them in. If they're not spiritual enough, then that's when you go to your parents. Those are the elders. You're supposed to go to the elders, you know, in your family or in your church. You know, seek help, and don't be too prideful and too ashamed, you know, to seek help, you know, for your marriage. But our talk today, guys, is about marriage. It's about family. It's about our community, our especially our African American community. You know, and the only way, and I'm pushing for this because, you know, we breaking down, and we see it, but nobody's standing up and nobody's saying nothing.
Right, addressing. Nobody.
Yes, nobody's saying nothing. So we you know, if y'all see this video, make it go viral. So and let's talk about this stuff in the beauty shops and in the barber shops about bringing families together. Guys, y'all need to pull the trigger. Y'all need to step up to the plate and be men and husbands.
Hold it right there. But
go ahead. No, go ahead.
The thing about it, you can't hold them hostage on that, because if they had no father, and it used to be an issue with me, I try to be there for my sons, daughters, whatever, as much as I could. But some of these young men, I don't like to say I feel sorry for them, but they don't have an inkling of how to be a father, never an example. And for a long time, because my father was there, and I was there for my son's death, I thought it was like an excuse. But there are a lot of young men, since I'm talking about the men, I'm saying because the men are supposed to be the head, they really don't know. And through conversation, at work, through conversation out in the street, conversation with people in my family, they really don't know. They don't know the value. They may know one value of being a man, but the marriage part they don't know because they don't have parents that were married. You see, so they struggle. So my wife and I always get this conversation. Why can't this certain person get together? I tell her, he didn't have any kind of example. It's not his fault. It's not the man's fault that it happened. Or a young lady, maybe one of my daughters may talk to me about it, or whatever. Or my nieces or cousins. Why this, why that. Some of these guys are good guys. And the woman, God put the woman here for a lot of reasons. You know, for a lot of reasons. She keeps the home. But women have so much power. Sometimes you get to use that power and direct that power. That if that certain guy that you like, give him a chance. Give him a chance. And try to grow with him. Perfect example. I was going divorced. And me and Tina, we met as friends. But she didn't know. I was like, man, I'm going to have me some fun. I'm ready. I wasn't thinking about no marriage, that's for sure. So she started talking to me like say Bible study. This is what I mean. I had a good father, great father, great mother. Had a wholesome family. But still, I was like, man, I'm 30 years old. What am I doing going through this? But God sent her like an angel in my life, and she got me back on track. I was a believer and serving God, but I'm also human. Human with needs or like anybody else. But he sent her, and she started breaking things down for me. She bought books for me. This is what I mean by young ladies. You see a particular young man that you like, don't just kick him to the curb. He might be, he have a good job, but he ain't spiritual. Okay, if you supposed to be spiritual, then why can't you help him be spiritual? You know, that's what Tina did for me. I was spiritual. I was sort of still maybe a babe in Christ. 5 years in, I had accepted Christ in my life and everything. But being a human being, I just want to start having fun, different kind of fun, But she came in and started bringing those books. She bought me books from the bookstore and I started reading them. And it sort of turned me around and put me in the direction I should have been going in. But know where I was headed because I didn't go there. But I was very close to going there, because like I said, I wasn't married no more. And I just had my kids and, hey, I spent time with them and then I started saying to myself, what about me? And that's when it, really started down. But that's when we met. We met and she sort of like became my best friend first. We didn't date like that because like I told God, I said, and you got to say what you want, women. If you really want to be married, go to God with that. But then ask him, maybe you may have got to the step of getting married, the final step of being married, and then the guy might walk away. But sometimes you got to dig deep into yourself. What am I right? Is it something I'm not doing? You got to be honest with yourself. A lot of these guys, I see a lot of these guys are good guys. Everybody say there ain't no good men out here. Yes, a lot of good men out here. They got to just need to be given a chance. Because she could have said, you trying to be worldly. And could have said, like, I can't deal with you. Because Tina, when I met her, she was Holy Ghost, Bible was fire, spit fire. Everything came out of her mouth was Jesus, God, everything. And that's where I was like, man, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to go, it's time me having fun out, and I was going to go I was going to have fun the wrong way. But God, brought her and she was, just broke it down through like knowledge. She gave me knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And that gave me control of my flesh. And so that put me in perspective where, hey, man, I want to be, I don't want to go I done came this far, this far spiritually, and now I'm gonna be, I didn't want to go in the direction out where I was in my teens or in my 20s, wild and stuff. And I still was 30. I was 30 like any other 30-year-old man, with kids. So God sent me in her direction first, because I called her, and it was like, we went from there as good friends, good friends, and one thing we did, we always went somewhere public, we always went somewhere in the public, to where, things were on the right level, and we both spiritual people, so we had to keep things on the right level, So, my thing is, give these guys a chance. A lot of young men, a lot of good men out here, a lot of good men with jobs. Some people say, man, they got these jobs, they're going to be doing it. No, that ain't necessary. That's not even true. A lot of young men have intelligence. There's nobody even gave him a chance, or nobody even attempted to like, man, he's so smart, he won't even give me the time of day. Don't believe that. So I mean, use your own own discretion. And like I say, people walk up to me and say, "Man, you're a lucky man." But you know what I tell them? She a lucky woman.
Amen.
Because you got, and men don't. And I'm gonna say this to men: if any men are watching, speak up for yourself. You valuable too.
Amen.
And a lot of men be been beat by society. If you know what I mean, been beat by society. They've been beat a lot of ways by the church. I don't like the way a lot of people are bashing men. All men are not the same, but when they implicate stuff on TV as men being this way, okay, they're gonna say that on TV because they want to divide the family, the whole society,
Preach.
Society now is to divide the family.
Preach.
We're going through situation. I can't elaborate too much like I want to right now, but it's to divide the family.
Yes.
Especially the man.
Yes.
There are a lot of good men out here, but what you see on TV, the same thing. We did so that, negative, or men are this, men are that. I don't even want to use some of the terms, but they showed it on TV.
Can I
to make you
interject?
not. Yeah,
Can I
go
interject?
ahead.
So, like he was saying, how society is causing us
right.
to separate, okay, and it's causing us, it's pitting us against one another, okay. The news painting our black males as negative. We look at what we see a black male walking down the street and we hitting the lot, scared of our brothers.
Right. That's what I mean.
Okay, so the society is painting, is pitting us against each other. So that's why I just feel compelled for Tony and I to come to talk as a couple, for us to come together as family unit, and for our leaders, our church leaders, our home leaders.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Since there are a lot of them, and we have to be the leaders to do it. Because
amen.
That's all I'm saying. We have to be the leaders now. This is a different age. You have different ages. You have different ages in life.
Yes.
The age now is that we have to be leaders.
Yes.
And talk to these. The men have to talk to the men. Women talk to the women. And I'm gonna tell you, my mom. Okay, she might have been a woman, but guess what? She put a lot of value. My dad definitely put values in me. But my mom, a woman can do it, but it's fine. It's certain things, just be a certain woman to do it. So I'm not saying you can't do it. Because when I met Tina, if I had 4 girls, it would have been awfully tough for me to do the things for the girls. But since I had boys, it was easier for me. And it would have been tough for her to, I had boys, So I don't know. It's that male, female. The
Mhm.
boys just accept her.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. You know,
Yeah.
girls would have been like, "No, you're not talking about daddy. You're not doing it." And the same, you know, it's been like that. So it's kind of rough like that. But that was one advantage. You know, if I had 3 girls, they'd have been, "No, you're not my dad." And a lot of people go through that too.
Mhm.
But we talking about basically 2 people coming together. Not well, we're still married though. We still talking about marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still
Absolutely.
saying marriage.
Absolutely.
But I guess you just have to just draw your own conclusion on this thing. It's really bad though, you know.
But
I see.
let me interject, baby. So I want to go back to my point. My point is, guys, is that we have to female. I'm talking female now. We have to learn how to protect our kings. And I'm gonna say this. Yesterday, it was the Holy Spirit. Okay. That sometimes it's a still small voice, okay, and they come and speak to you. And I was driving on a 2-lane highway down a mountain, you know, because Tony and I were in the mountains now. And so I had a person just come from out of nowhere. The 2-lane highway was kind of busy. This person comes out of nowhere and starts driving aggressively behind me. I mean, and it was like he was pushing me, like trying to run me off the road. And he ran up behind me and just slid over to the side and high beams on and acting a fool. I said, okay, that's strike 1. Okay, then he did it again. And Tony is asleep. You know, because he had work all night. So Tony's asleep, and I didn't want to bother him and wake him up.
But
and then God did it again. Okay, strike 2. And anybody that know me in the flesh, know I could go there. But this climate that we're in, guys, is not the time. We have to know when to fold and when to hold. Okay? The Spirit came, still small voice, and said, dial 911. Because, honey, it was a beautiful day yesterday. I had my hatch open. I was chilling. I could have reached up and did anything up through that hatch to make things get worse. I could have escalated it. You know, had I been in my flesh. But I wasn't in my flesh. I was just chilling and enjoying the weather, you know. And so I listened to the Spirit. I did not wake Tony. I did not alarm him because Tony was tired. His spirit was tired, guys. So I know if I had woke my husband up, he was going to go to war, especially in this climate. So the Spirit said, call 911. I picked up the phone and I dialed 911 because y'all, I can handle this on my own. No, dial 911. I dialed 911. The ladies, I looked right at the truck, gave the lady the description of the truck, knew the truck, y'all. Gave the ladies the description of the truck and everything, and the dispatch lady was just as nice. They connected me right to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff's office I gave her the description, and I said, I don't know what this guy is trying to do. If he's running me off the road, he's trying to run me off the road. It's a 2-lane highway. I don't know where he wants me to go. And back there with number farmland. Now I ain't gonna, y'all know the color of our skin. We can't be running up on nobody's property. Y'all know that, right? Can I get an amen? All right, so I wasn't going to pull up in somebody's property just because this joker was trying to run me off the road. I still remain calm. The Spirit come over me and said, dial 911. I talked to the sheriff the whole time. And this went on for like a mile and a half, guys. And I'm on the phone with the sheriff. She said, okay, if it continues, I'm getting ready to dispatch the sheriff out to where you at. I see where you are. this technology is awesome. I see exactly where you are. She called out the road I was on. She said, yes, I could see both vehicles, and she said, okay, Tina, because I told her my name, and she called me by my name, and she said, Tina, when you see a safe place, pull over and see if he will keep going, because maybe he's just in a rush and he's just trying to get past you. She said, I don't know what's going on with today, but we've gotten several calls like this today. So I found a safe street finally, and I pulled over, and that joker kept going because I didn't know if he was going to follow us or not. Now, at that point, if he had come behind me, now I don't know what was going to happen after that, guys.
Keep it subject.
Okay, but anyway, my husband said, get back on point. Okay. Get back in the spirit. Anyway, but anyway, God handled that. But so I said all of that to say, guys, that we as women, we have to know when and how to protect our kings, as well as them protecting their queen.
That's your sons.
And the kings and prince. The sons are prince. So, and yeah. So we have to learn how to protect our families, guys. It's all about family. And we just come on today to just try to encourage you guys, the lay people, and our elders and our leaders, and like I say, leaders about the family and everything, guys. Y'all, let's pull together as an African American community. Let's work on our families. Let's get married. Let's stress the importance of marriage. That ain't say nothing about us dating a long-term relationship. It said marriage. Okay? So let's teach our children, our nieces, our nephews, our family. Let's marry. Let's bring in, children. Let's uplift our family units, y'all. Let me go back to my statement. Strong marriages make strong churches. Strong churches make strong communities. Okay? And we're looking for our communities. The only way that we can get our communities strong is if we have a strong church. Yep. The only way we're gonna get our churches strong is if we begin to marry, guys. So let's push this thing, okay? Help us make this video viral. Help our community to get back strong like we were in the 40s and the 50s, in the 60s and the 70s. Ain't nothing wrong with looking back in the past and getting examples of how we're supposed to be in the future. Okay? Because right now, we are running amok. And we need to hurry up and get this thing together. Because Christ is surely coming. So let's get it right before he get here, okay? All right, baby. You want some last words?
No, I said pretty much everything. In a nutshell, pretty much. Like Tina said, let's get back. I mean, it's not like the point of going back. Just get back to the values, the moral values of things. Because we got away from the moral values, and it's about this, it's about that. And who suffers, who falls through the cracks is the kids. Yes. And then once they fall through, a lot of times, some of them make it. Yes. Some kids make it. Some of them don't. Some of them break down like later on in life. They may have been fine, through, say, a divorce, breakup. But later on in life, it comes back on them. And it's hard to shake it. I hear a lot of times from friends of mine on their kids. I don't like use step kids. I just say good kids. And it goes back to the beginning, to their mom and dad. Yep. And I'm telling you, I have to find notes from my kids, boys, about me and their mom. They want us together. Imagine the stress the child experiencing that. So you got to learn how to deal with it. And that's what the church should have, help for the kids, for the parents. You need professional help.
Yes.
It was beyond our capacity to help certain kids we had.
Yes. Yes.
And some of
And
them
you have to be honest with yourself,
You
right?
gotta be honest, because certain things you can handle, some things you can't.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And I will admit, the older that the kids are, the more attention, because they've attached themselves to that other parent that long. I was fortunate my kids were no more than 9 years old, and I still went through a lot. You know, but once they found out who Tina was, they loved her to death. You know. It became a natural thing for them to love her. But I mean,
but even still, with all that, guys, we still had some kids that had challenges, you know, and so what can you do? But at that point, is just pray and lift them up, and that's where we are with where we are with that.
let me say one thing. And see, when it goes down through the generation. Okay, if they didn't have it wasn't solid with, say, their parents breaking up. Okay, now they have kids or whatever, or they get in the marriage of their own. Something still be missing. So it's a trickling effect. You know, it's really hard. And you see a lot of people that have a problem with life, trying to get it because they don't know, they haven't addressed that, or they don't know how to address it.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, how? Like I say, it's hard for Tina and I to address it because we had our parents to death did us apart. So
Yes.
we didn't know how to deal with this stuff. We had to do a lot of praying, and through certain people, powerful people, like I say, even in, and I'm gonna end on this. Divorce from something means D-I. It means division, divided. And divorce, D means two. Divorce refers to vision. You have two visions, and when you come with two visions, there's no way it can work. It can't work. So if you see that start to develop, you try to get a hands on it before it get really bad. Let's say if you're already married. Like I said before, a lot of people, they're tired, but they ain't really give it the best shot. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it's been rosy because, like I said, we went through a whole lot raising kids and this and a lot of stuff that happened. And so we want to use our experience to help somebody else.
Yes.
So maybe they won't have to go through what we went through. Gone through. Everybody's grown now, but our kids have kids, so now they may have to deal with stuff, and how they deal with it, we can do our best, but we don't know.
And we advise them to be married, to stay together. We practice what we preach.
Yeah.
So what? All of them, but 2 out of the 7.
Yeah, Carlos and Horse have been married.
Right.
Yeah, 7. No, yeah, 3 out of 7. Yeah.
Okay, so 3 out of 7
haven't experienced marriage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have been married, so we practice what we preach. And so, and again, we still, although it didn't work out with 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
One got remarried so far out of the 3 that
and
was
they're
separated.
doing well.
But and we're praying for the others, to get married or remarried. So we practice what we preach. Again, my father, God rest his soul, believed in marriage.
100.
That's where this is coming from. Strong marriage, okay?
We sure did.
And so, that was our community. Everybody in our community,
right.
The communities that we lived in, everybody knew my dad. Because again, strong marriage, leader in the church, and was strong in the community. You know, and that's the kind of the leader, the men in our households, ladies, should be participating just like that. You know, my husband in our community, everybody knew my husband in the community. They love him in our church, the two churches that we belong to and participated in. So, you know, the young guys know him. Pull him when we at the gas station. They know him. You know, it's an it's just the example. It's just how we can get our African American community back together. So I'm gonna leave it at that, baby.
Yep, that's good. Yep.
Okay, so we thank you guys for tuning in. Again, share this video. Leave comments, please, and let us know, you know, what you think, what you would like for us to talk about on our channel. Again, we're live, but I'm going to post a recorded video up to our Smorgasburg channel. Please go to our Smorgasburg channel and subscribe, because we got to get to our 1,000 member mark, so that I can monetize my documentary, so that I can help my village that I adopted, again, over in Gambia, West Africa. So we're moving upward and forward. Y'all stay safe out there. You know, stay covered in the blood. All right, guys. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, in that one, baby.